Hey everybody, it's Kim Hawk, and we're so excited. I'm known as YouTube's Near Disney, the fairy godmother of real estate, and we have some exciting things going on. We're going to do an 8-part series. Yes, an 8-part series, and we're looking forward to hearing from where you guys are from. So I'm in our Near Disney YouTube channel studio that's right in the town that Disney built called Celebration, Florida. So where are you guys from? I want to hear that because we've got some really cool theories that we've got coming along. For those of you that don't know me, I am a veteran of over 25 years as a realtor. My mom was a broker, so technically I've kind of been involved with real estate for 50 years, but we're really not specifically talking about real estate today. We're talking about a theory about our beloved Walt Disney. You know, Walt Disney, his birthday was on Monday, December the 5th. He would have been 121 years old. God bless him. I wish you could see everything that we're getting ready to talk to you about because we have a theory that he was responsible not just for the theme parks. And I've got a special guest that's going to roll in here at some point, and she's going to be talking about this with me as well because she's got a lot of experience in regard to the theme parks and what she sees. But what I'm seeing over the course of the last year with my dream team on Near Disney is that we've been doing videos of all the towns that are within a 25-mile radius around Cinderella's castle. And we have this theory that we can't wait to show you. But let me kind of walk you through just a little bit of it. When you look at, here we have the map of the Magic Kingdom. And so I used to be a VIP tour guide for the Magic Kingdom, gosh, many years ago. And we always explained that Cinderella's castle was at the center of the wheel. So it was like spokes of the wheel. And you would have Main Street, you would have Tomorrowland, you would have Fantasyland, Liberty Square, Frontierland, and Adventureland. Now, my question to you guys is this. Walt Disney, so many years ago, which by the way, next year it's going to be the 100th anniversary of everything that Walt was dreaming and being in with the movies and everything, 100 years. But what was he thinking when he was buying all this land? Now, I know a lot of us are talking about we've been to Disneyland in California and we love it. And one of his biggest regrets was that he didn't have a lot of land around Disneyland. So he felt like it was kind of destroying a little bit of the magic when maybe people were driving up and they were seeing fast food places and whatnot, right? So here, he quietly and secretly, and we can all talk about that because we'd love to see your all's chat comments about that, about how he was able to get enough land that was about 27,000 acres. I think they're almost at about 30,000 acres. So you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong on that. But it definitely is twice the size of Manhattan or the same size as San Francisco. Now, we know even with all the theme parks that are built on this land in Central Florida, there's so much more land. Well, get this, we have a video that kind of talks about what we believe Walt's real heart was for. And I can't wait for you to meet somebody that just walked into my studio. We've got Miranda.
Hey everyone. Hi.
So Miranda is the #1 streamer on Streaming the Magic. And she's also part of my dream team, and she is out in the parks all the time. And she's agreeing with me. She's seeing
almost every day.
Yeah, almost every day.
Almost every day.
And so what's so lovely is that, you know, when college program kids have come into town, right, they're from everywhere.
Yes.
And so some of their expectations, if they ever wanted to come back after they graduated from college, might be, oh, I'd still like to have a piece of home. So some of those kids might be like, I'm from New York and I want something where I can kind of jump rooftop to rooftop. But then there may be some kids that are from Wyoming and they're like, forget that. I need a lot of land.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so a lot of land to us may be frontier land. And so in future weeks on this 8-part series, we're going to show you how we think Walt Disney himself breathed the words.
Yeah.
He breathed the words.
For sure.
So what are some of your favorite park pieces in the Magic Kingdom? Which ones?
Oh, man. So I'm going to throw this back.
Okay, throw it back.
I'm going to say Mickey's Toontown.
Oh,
so if you're familiar with
yes.
Disneyland, you'll know Mickey's Toontown, which is now actually the new Fantasyland section. So they've got all things fanciful and whimsical. You got the Mad Tea Party cups that way, which hold a special place in my heart.
We call her Alice in Wonderland on our team, yes.
Then you've also got parts of it that are thrill rides, like the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, or a gorgeous castle to dine in for Be Our Guest, which, again, very partial to, because I love dining in the Beast Castle there with all those superb elements, like pulled strictly from the movie. But then they've also got that whole separate section for Storybook Circus. So they've got those really, really like pull at your heartstring type attractions like Dumbo and the Barnstormer. And hopefully we'll see the Walt Disney World Railroad really, really, really soon.
Yes. So without further ado, what we would like to do is we want to show you a little bit of our theory. We want to start with the town of Celebration, because you're going to see some very specific examples. When you look at Main Street, Magic Kingdom, and Celebration, and what Walt is getting ready to say to you on a video, we believe that he's the one that breathed this into reality. So we're going to please stay with us until the end, because we're going to be watching your comments, answering any of your questions. And we've got Miranda here help me with the controls here.
Sure.
And here we go.
With
the show. Hey everybody, it's Kim Hawk and Elijah Lewis.
Great to see you.
And we are with Near Disney YouTube channel and also with Florida Motion Realty. And we have a theory. What's that theory, Elijah?
Well, we are right now standing in Celebration, the town that was built by Disney. And if you know anything about the history of this town, is that Walt had planned this a long time ago, where he was personally advocating for building a town, a community that was going to be Epcot, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, emphasis on community. Now, he, in his lifetime, didn't get the chance to realize that vision. That was going to be Michael Eisner, decades later in charge of Disney, realizing an actual community in town that was going to be built by Disney. But we kind of had, like Kim said, a theory or a thought experiment, if you will, that if Celebration is Epcot, if we start looking at some of the other amazing communities within a 25-mile radius of Disney or something, kind of thinking about Cinderella's castle as the center, like you see on the Magic Kingdom chart, then we could maybe kind of envision some of the other towns as other areas of the park.
Yes.
Like if Celebration's Epcot, maybe...
Adventureland. What about Winter Garden being Adventureland? Or Tomorrowland, Lake Nona.
Yeah, we just could have fun, because there are beautiful things about the identities and the personalities of those communities that speak to the spirit of Disney as well.
Exactly. So we have an 8-part series that's starting this week. We're going to start with Celebration, but next week we're going to tell you what our theory is on Lake Nona. So for all of you that live in those communities, please pipe in, tell us if you agree, if you don't agree. But for those of you that are up north and you're wondering, we really do believe that when Walt Disney was speaking those words, that it really became a bigger reality than any of us ever thought.
Absolutely.
All right, stay tuned. Can't wait to show you Celebration, which we consider to be the main street of the Magic Kingdom.
The most exciting, the most important part of our Florida project, in fact, the heart of everything we'll be doing in Disney World, will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow. We call it Epcot, spelled E-P-C-O-T, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Epcot's Greenbelt is more than just a broad expanse of beautiful lawns and walks and trees. Here, too, are the community's varied recreational facilities. It's playgrounds for children, it's churches, and it's schools.
Welcome to Celebration, Florida. This is the town that Walt Disney World built. Back in 1996, the first residents moved here, and what you're going to see here shortly are restaurants, retail, there's a post office, and there's great design here from architects. So as we take you on this journey, you're going to learn a lot of great tidbits about this great town of Celebration, Florida. And in the town center of Celebration, Florida, there's a lovely lake. This is where people will be able to enjoy an ice cream cone as they sit on a rocking chair. Look at the beautiful views. And you know, not too far from here, you could see your children playing in the popping fountain, which is absolutely beautiful during the summer months to cool you off. The views here are just spectacular. It looks like a painting. So Celebration, Florida was intended initially to be Epcot Center. Well, that never happened before Walt Disney passed away. So there's this genius man by the name of Michael Eisner who was in charge of Disney, and he said, what are the things that Walt wanted to happen that didn't occur? And one of the ideas was the Epcot portion of people being able to live and be and have their jobs at Epcot. Well, instead of it being at Epcot, it's here at Celebration, Florida. And you'll see behind me, he was very specific about his architects. So he picked someone by the name of Robert Stern to design downtown Celebration. What a marvel that we have. He picked 5 amazing architects. But just realize, this town was actually envisioned by Walt Disney himself. And before the first people moved into Celebration in 1996, they had a lottery. There were over 5,000 people that showed up for the first 350 homes. Can you imagine 5,000 people trying to get into this amazing town? But with Disney, the magic always happens, and it's in big demand. Very much like you see in the Magic Kingdom, there's something called forced perspective. If you walk down the main street in the Magic Kingdom, you'll see that the first floor of the building is taller than the second floor. The second floor is taller than the third floor. And what happens is that your eye plays a trick on you. You believe that the buildings are taller than they are. Well, right here in Celebration, Florida, that's what's happening with the downtown lake. The engineers decided to expand the lake to the left and to the right, and so you just feel like it's much larger than it is. Pretty brilliant, huh? Some of you might be wondering, what does it cost to live in the town of Celebration? Well, there's a couple of great things. There's no state income tax here. Walt Disney was very adamant about wanting to do things like having alleyways behind the homes here because he didn't want the garages facing forward, because what happens? A trash can is left out and it makes it look messy. When you're going through this town, there's other Walt things as well. Winding roads versus just straight cut roads. And you're going to find lots of amenities, tennis courts, farmers markets. You're going to have playgrounds. He's going to encourage you to get out and about because there's over 50 miles of walking and biking paths around the town of Celebration, Florida. There's a variety of type of properties, and one of the examples is the Home Business District. There's actually 14 homes that are very close to downtown Celebration where you can run your business. You can also live in the home. Now this one's exceptional because there's a big talk about where's the hidden Mickey. I'm going to ask you if you see anything on this home that might give that away. And for all of you architect buffs, we understand that this corner is very special. And the reason why it's very special is for zoning reasons. The house behind us is beautiful, and it's on one story with a great porch. And if you look down the street, you'll see that the Disney Imagineers were very particular about making sure that this house sits a little bit forward and the next 2 houses sit a little bit back. And the last house on this street sits a little bit forward. That was a design factor. They wanted it to look like it was a bookend. You'll also notice things like the roads are curved. That was a big Disney thing. Walt himself wanted you to feel like you were meandering, you were coming into an area that was blessed, and we certainly are. So from this section as well, you'll see a 1-story home. This next corner is a 2-story home. Across the street from this place is a commercial place, which is the church, and then you also have townhouses on this corner. The other big thing about this street, if you come to Celebration, find Sycamore, because this is the street that Robert Stern, who was the overall designer of the town, said that once it hit the 5-year mark and you saw how beautiful the trees were, you would see the true beauty of the town of Celebration. This church not only was important to Walt Disney, it was important that his niece, Dorothy Disney, was involved. Here we have a plaque that shows the involvement of the Walt Disney family in the town of Celebration. So we're presently on Water Street, which is technically the center of the town of Celebration. At the end of the street, you will see the Robert Trent Jones Senior and Junior Golf Course, which is fabulous. But there's a couple of things that a lot of people don't know about the center street, one of which is the Disney Imagineers brought to life an area of Amsterdam. So we have this beautiful canal, beautiful flowers, waterfalls, but here's something interesting too. I wanted to stand here in particular. We were always knowing and wanting to have a wide age range of people that live in this town. And so what the Disney Imagineers did was on a bridge, when you're coming across the bridge, for our young people that are on a bicycle, see how it arches up? Well, the idea is they can arch up so they can see if traffic is coming, which will be more safe for our children so they don't go across the street. Now on the other side, it's cut flat. And the idea is that they wanted to make sure if somebody was in a wheelchair on the opposite age, that they were able to pass this beautiful part of town, Water Street, in Celebration. Let's talk about some other cool things. We have no power lines overhead. How fabulous is that? But it's also important. If a hurricane were to come through this town, which we've had about 3 or 4 over the course of 20 years, we've never lost power. So it's been a blessing to us. I believe with Disney, they've thought about everything. We are at the intersection of Long Meadow and Mulberry Street. And one of the beautiful things that the town of Celebration, the Disney Imagineers, did was they created all these beautiful parks, and we're in the middle of one of them. But what they also did was they traveled quite a bit to see where the best of locations were. The best of America would be Savannah. So around us now you see an example of Savannah Square. There's places like Charleston, the Key West area. There's areas that look like right outside of Washington, D.C. Once you look really close into this town, you're going to be amazed at all the details. And I, for one, love the parks. As I mentioned, one of my favorite things are the parks that are in Celebration. And we're standing here in Long Meadow Park. I was here just recently with a young man that decided that he was going to ask his bride-to-be to marry him here. So it was lined with Celebration residents. It was a joyful day. That's a normal day in Celebration. Also on this street, there is a house that's fashioned after a Steve Martin movie, and it's this home over here. It was a movie about de Bergerac. So lots of exciting things on the street. Nice shade. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, with Walt Disney, we're not going to leave out our furry friends. We've got Pluto and Goofy, and of course, they're going to think about a dog spot. So with all these walking paths, they're making available wonderful resources so that your pets feel comfortable as well. There's a dog park in Celebration. There's a library. There is so much here, a fire station. It's absolutely amazing to be able to live in this town. And we are on Campus Street, and of course, Disney would think to put their school here. They originally started with the K through 12 school, which is behind me now, and there was a lot of thought that went behind it. 20 years prior to Celebration opening, Disney had something called the Teacherific program. They would go to schools throughout the United States and they would ask for nominations of the best teachers and bring them to Disney for a banquet. Oprah Winfrey would host that banquet and they would ask them, what would you do differently to improve school systems? And guess what? When we opened in 1996, there was a group called Ground Zero, and Ground Zero took all of that information. And it wasn't just any Ground Zero. It was Harvard University, Johns Hopkins, Stetson, Auburn. We had amazing programs, and still we do. My daughter was 5 when we first moved here. She went through the whole school program, and I can tell you, it exceeded all of my expectations. We love our teachers, and we love our school. We're only 10 minutes away from the furthest gate, which is the Magic Kingdom. There's an amazing hospital here. It's by Advent Health. And you will drive past it and think that it's a resort. So as we turn the camera around, they make it snow here the day after Thanksgiving up until right after the 1st of January. Snow in Florida? Are you kidding me? Yes, they make it snow. They have Disney carolers that are singing a cappella. They have an ice skating rink. This is the town. We're so glad that you joined us today because we'd love to see you in the town of Celebration, Florida. Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live. So, what do you guys think out there, right?
Ooh, that was a lot of information.
It was a lot of information and a lot of things that correlate with what Walt Disney did with the Magic Kingdom.
Absolutely. I didn't even know half of it. So... Yeah. It's kind of a fun little scavenger hunt, if you think about it, to come around a Celebration and find all those different points that you pointed out, like the plaques and like the history there of like the school originally being a K through 12 and now it's K through 8, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, really
and
cool.
You know what? One of the things too, that the part of the video where it talks about the forced perspective, when you are coming into downtown Celebration, how the first floor is taller than the second floor, and it forces you to feel like the buildings are taller, which is exactly what Walt was doing with Cinderella's castle.
Absolutely.
And the lake, when you're in downtown Celebration, when they made it look like it veers to the left and to the right a little bit more, that's forced perspective too, because it's going to make you think that that lake is bigger than what it really is. So I think, and it's wonderful, we're seeing a lot of great comments. We wanted to say hi to Michelle Hand. She's a wonderful Celebration resident.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah. And then we got a great comment. Sometimes it doesn't say your name, you guys, on here, but it says that we always comment on the beauty of the tree canopies. Never gets old.
Oh, yeah. The conservation efforts here just to keep and preserve the natural abundance of everything here for Celebration just blows my mind. Even with all the new sections that were added, not from the original parts.
Yes, that's such a good point. Robert Stern, who was really the architect responsible for downtown, because, Robert Stern and Michael Graves were involved with the Walt Disney World Dolphin Swan Yacht and Beach, and they kind of competed with one another.
That's where the aesthetic comes from. I was wondering. Continue.
Yeah. And so he did say when it got to be the 5th year, you would really see the beauty of what Celebration was about, because the trees were actually brought on, the trees were actually grown off property on Disney and brought into Celebration. So they were already matured pretty much by the time people were moving in 1996. That's
awesome.
Something you would see on Disney property.
But to have the foresight to know that those things needed to be in place before you started moving residents in, so that way they could step into this fairy tale lifestyle here for Celebration. That was amazing.
And the thought that, especially when Disney's getting ready to be celebrating 100 years next year, that the people like John Hench, I don't know if you guys have read about John Hench. He was one of Walt Disney's favorite artists that would, he would be responsible for paint colors because he would want to make sure it was dreamy like type of thing. But he was also responsible for when lakes were in, that they weren't straight and narrow. They had a curve to them, and you would meander, and it wouldn't be straight lines. And that's one of the things that we talk about in the video celebration. So I think we're on to something, Miranda.
I think so.
I think so. And I think next week, you guys, when we join everybody and we talk about Tomorrowland, because Tomorrowland really is, I'm looking over here at the map, talks about futuristic stuff. And the video that we did on Lake Nona, I think that draws a group of people that like futuristic in advance. And so thank you, Walt Disney. His legacy truly is bigger than the parks, and the parks are a big deal already.
You know, and I'm glad you're making Tomorrowland next week's topic, because there's a lot of hot ticket items going on around Tomorrowland right now. We got Tron coming up.
Oh yeah.
And that's been an attraction, 5 years in the making now.
Yes.
So there's a hot like commodity there with Tron. It's taking up some real good real estate right there behind Space Mountain. I know you mentioned I stream a bit from the parks, but
a lot. She's the best. Yes.
Maybe. But Space Mountain's been kind of a hot topic here as of late too. So if you're looking at some of the streams that we're either sharing here or on the Facebook pages, you will not see Space Mountain any longer, because there are certain rides and attractions that Disney has started limiting, and Space Mountain so far is the only one here in Walt Disney World. So yeah, Tomorrowland's been a hot topic. We still have the People Mover. Disneyland does not have the People Mover up and running just yet again. And like I said, we're hoping that we can see that Walt Disney World Railroad really, really soon. And I know that there have been so many people that have got some really great videos of it kind of making its practice rounds and training the engineers lately. So we're really excited to kind of catch a glimpse of it back there. So I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So you guys, obviously give us a call. Actually, Miranda, why don't you tell them your telephone number in case anybody's ever thinking about moving to Central Florida or moving around Central Florida. My dream team, they are bar none the best folks that are going to be able to help you, especially now too. Like if we get to spend some time with you in advance and you get to see my team and you get to figure out which personality works best with you, because we all have different personalities, and say, oh my gosh, Miranda gets me, right? She gets me.
If I'm your cup of tea.
Yes. If Alice in Wonderland, her name that I gave her, Alice, is your cup of tea, you're going to want to call her. But let's start off first. Give them your number.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Miranda Juarez. You might see me on Streaming the Magic. You might see me around YouTube, obviously with the Near Disney Dream Team. But the best number to reach me is going to be 407-801-3607. Or you can always call or text message 1-800-KIM Hawk. That's KIMHAWK. A lot of people don't realize that you can text the number as well. So feel free to send us a text, send us a call. Just ask for Alice, ask for me, ask for Miranda. Alice might be easier to spell though.
That's right. That's right.
But we'll be happy to get you in the right direction of whatever you're looking for and help make those dreams come true.
Yeah. And then actually we're announcing as well, we're going to be having a Wednesday night. We're going to call it Wednesday Night Wind Down with Near Disney Realtors, and you're going to be able to see my whole dream team. We kind of do a Brady Bunch setup, and we're going to have a glass of wine, bubbly. Some of our realtors may have iced tea, and we're going to be available for all of you guys, because you have a whole bunch of different questions. There's a whole bunch of things about what are the taxes like down there? What does it take in order to buy a house down there? So this video didn't do that, but we are offering that up. So on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m.
And that's going to be just a full live show. So you're going to be able to not only interact with me and Kim, but you're going to be able to interact with the rest of the Dream Team too. So come out, say hi. We'd love to get to know you all, answer your questions. Even if that's not something that you're ready to get kind of in depth about, we're happy to answer those questions for you. And if it's something that we don't know right offhand, we're happy to help take that off stream and get you the right answers.
That's perfect. And once again, I know a lot of you will probably be watching throughout the week. We know historically, 1,300 or 1,400 of you are going to watch after the stream, because it's during the day on a Friday. So, but please please watch the show. Please feel to share it with other people. Please,
give us a big old thumbs up.
Yeah.
From wherever you're watching from.
Yes.
Hit that subscribe button down below right here. If you're on Facebook and seeing us, make sure that you've liked and followed the page. Otherwise, you won't get notified.
Yes.
Same thing with YouTube. Make sure you ring that bell. So that way you get notified each and every time we upload a new video, we go live, or we got a property to show you that might be up and coming. Because I know we got a lot.
We got a lot of good stuff coming up. Yes. All right. Well, I think we covered it. Yeah.
I think so.
And I feel good. I do feel like we're going in the right direction. And we just need to say thank you once again to Walt Disney for his vision.
Walt. We appreciate you so much. I don't know that Walt realized that this would be as massive as a scale. And he left such a legacy when he was originally envisioning it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems like it ever expands. And I'm so glad that we're doing kind of a bigger series on all this.
Yeah. And it's a love, one of the reasons he wanted to do it as well is for his daughters. And he wanted to make sure there was a safe environment. And so when we look around the country and people are like, I just have to move from XYZ because I just don't feel it's as safe anymore. Mm-hmm. We've always felt like we've had that bubble of safety because Walt's vision was super important too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we'd love to meet your families. We'd love to be able to work with you. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Let's make some magic on Wednesday. See y'all.